So, welcome back guys to a brand new video. Now today, we're going to be going through the new update that is going live today for ARK Survival Evolved on the Xbox One, PlayStation and the PC. Now, I didn't actually expect this update to be coming this week, but I suppose it's actually coming to the end of February now, and it's going to be bringing Genesis Chronicles 4 as the DLC is meant to be released next month. Now, it is going to be going live at different times. Obviously, PC is always a little bit earlier than console. I'll be giving you guys all the news you need to know about the update in today's video. But as always, for the update day, can we smash over 1,000 likes on today's video, guys? That's always a lot to ask, but whenever it's update day, you guys smash those like targets. Make sure to be subscribed if you're not subscribed already. And let's just get in with the news, because there's a little bit to talk about today, moving on into the future of the game. So, Cedric posted this on Twitter saying, Genesis Chronicles deployments planned for today, PC 1 PM, console 8 PM. We'll let you know if there's any considerable updates to the timing. Now, we were obviously wondering what time zone, and he said PST. So for me, this is PC is 9 PM, and for console in the UK, that is 4 AM. It's always a crazy time on console. It's frustrating because they both used to come at 6 PM UK time, which was obviously a pretty nice time, but obviously times have changed and stuff. And hopefully there's no delays, because in the past updates, there has been delays, and obviously Cedric said if there's going to be any considerable updates to the timings, he will let us know. So you guys are maybe wondering, what is the Genesis Chronicles? Like, what do you get in it? Is the update going to be big or anything like that? Now, this update, if it was just Genesis Chronicles on its own, then you'd probably only be looking at like 2 gigabytes. But because there's probably going to be some other stuff added in, such as maybe the world border, which I'm going to be talking about tomorrow in tomorrow's video, or there might be some other like bug fixes and stuff, the updates always get a lot larger. On PC, they're always a lot smaller, so expect maybe only like a 4 gigabyte update. But on console, expect something between like 8 to 15. I mean, I said that last time, and then there was like a 58 gigabyte update on Xbox. But that was only because they were changing something to do with the shaders. But anyway, let's get into what Genesis Chronicles is and everything you guys need to know. So, Genesis Chronicles are a series of routine content drops that add new explorer notes and skins related to the DLC Genesis Part 2. It started all the way back now, guys, November 7th, 2020, which was actually when the Extra Life event was going on, which was obviously to raise money for a charity, and obviously when they hit certain targets, you know, that's obviously when they start giving us new information on the DLCs. And the end date is meant to be March 2021, so this is meant to be the last one. That's how it's worked in every single month, and then the reason why it finishes is because that's when the actual DLC gets released itself. So the Genesis Chronicles adds in multiple explorer notes connected to Genesis Part 2, some which come from the HLNA and some that come from Rockwell himself or Santiago, which you guys know is going to be played by Vin Diesel, if I'm correct, in ARK 2. The player must have the mini HLNA equipped in order to unlock the notes. Now, this was Genesis Chronicles 2, Genesis 2 Chronicles 1, as you guys can see here on the island, and then we've had the Scorched Earth ones in Genesis 2 Chronicles 2, and then in Genesis 2 Chronicles 3 we had Aberration, so most likely we would expect it to be Extinction for the 4th one. As you can see here, these are like the mini maps of where you can find these different obviously like chronicles, and where you can pick them up and have a little look at them. Obviously as well, the Genesis Chronicles 2 event adds in new unique skins, which is related to Genesis Part 2, which, as you'll know, you might not know, when you start in the new DLC, we're going to be on a big colony ship, and we're going to be starting on the ship with Federation Exo tech armor on and a tech pistol. But as a skin to before the DLC comes out, for the Genesis 2 Chronicles 1, we got the Federation Exo boot skin, and then we got the leggings for the second one, and then the Federation tech chest piece, for the third one. So if this is going to be the last one, you'd expect, they have done this in the past, so there's a chance this is what is going to happen. You could expect the gauntlets and the helmet to come all in one in today's update. If not, then it means that Genesis Part 2 is going to be delayed, and I'm really hoping it's not going to be delayed. I'm hoping that the reason why they're still releasing Chronicle updates is that there's going to be no delay and they're still on time to release the DLC. How fantastic would it be if Wildcard actually surprised us for once, which they haven't done in the past, and they say, you guys may have thought there was going to be a delay, but there is not going to be a delay, and it is coming on time. Now, as you can see, we can read through some of the different things here that is being said, all building up to the DLC, which is some really interesting stuff. Some of you guys may have seen this, some of you may have not, but this was the Note 1 from Genesis 2 Chronicles 1, which is the HNAs getting nostalgic about being back on the island, as if experiencing deja vu, something that is odd for an AI. Now, Note 2 was the HNA remembers being at the island, but not as an AI, but as a human person who had toes, who could feel and smell the ocean breeze. The visual includes a human survivor being at the first days on the island at the beach. Now, Note 3, the HNA suddenly remembers the survivors Helena met on the island, which is obviously Rockwell, all of the different survivors that have been part of the storyline. And it realizes that all of Helena's memories stored in it and its notes are a great parting gift. A high-quality image and its pixelated version shows a man with a bald top scalp, which is Rockwell, and a survivor covering his entire face, and a woman with long hair. Now, in the fourth and fifth note, which was the HNA again, who explains to the player that people like them and Helena only knew prehistoric creatures by studying their bones. She knows and remembers the feeling the players and Helena felt when they saw a real-life dinosaur in-game for players. A visual of a jungle background with a brontosaurus shown. So that is obviously back at the beginning of the game where you first load into ARK and you see that first brontosaurus. And yeah, it just brings back memories to think that ARK is like 5.5 years old. This year, ARK turns 6. And obviously that's going to be the leading on now to the second game. But 6 years of ARK is just crazy. But that will be in the summertime. And then finally, for the part 1 of Chronicles, the HNA tells the player that not only did it have memories about the adventures it had with the player, but also with having Helena Walker's memories, which she finds funny. She finds the thought of whether she is its human creator itself or a combination of the two to be mind-blowing. The visuals show one of Helena's memories showing her holding a pistol, obviously possibly during the time Helena needed evidence about the behaviour of tame creatures in captivity. So it's quite cool reading all of this back, because we can see what is going on with the whole story at the beginning of ARK, and obviously this is the final DLC for the game and the ending of the storyline, so we're really going to find out something big. So then we got to the second one, which was note number 6. So Rockwell speaks through the HNA about how he somehow has a connection to it, and how the Scorched Earth arc looks small to him now. A landscape view of Scorched Earth is shown. Now, this was done because Wildcard have told us that Scorched Earth will never have an ascension, and that is understandable. I know a lot of people got quite frustrated about that for a while, but the reason why there was never an ascension is they focused, the team had big changes, and then they started focusing on other things, and then to go back when they're already working on a second game is just a little bit stupid. So obviously they just said, we're going to stick to carrying on the story, and we'll try and relate it back to Scorched Earth in a way. So the next one is note 7, where Rockwell tries to surprise the player with the fact that he can see them now, and describes how he has grown more eyes than his original 2 when he was Sir Edmund Rockwell, or David Tennant, which is so exciting. He tells the player that endlessly exploring the Arks may have been something he would have done, but understands that he and everyone else on the Arks would need to leave the system in due time. And then obviously a visual of Rockwell and his wall of eyes is shown. Now, note number 8. Scorched Earth is considered to be disappointing in Rockwell's view. He recalls the events of his transfer from the island to Scorched Earth and how he has discovered elements during his travels. A visual of the area surround an obelisk in Scorched Earth is shown. Now, note number 9 is Rockwell notices something that reminds him of Helena somewhere inside the HNA. He admits that he underestimated Helene's resourcefulness when she became a homogeneous as her method of ascension, which was pretty cool. You know, you guys remember that at the end of the ascension there. But he finds it pitiful that despite that, she couldn't accept his grand design and a visual of Helena's memory and a point of view of where she was writing up the Triceratops dossier is shown. So this is all quite interesting to read from. Obviously, I know some parts, you know, I might pronounce wrong or something, but that's just because there's so much to read through here. Like, this is the first time I'm reading back the stories, which is cool, because obviously when you go and do it and you get on the game and go through the Chronicles yourself, when you put it all together like this, it's really cool linking it all up. So, Genesis Chronicles 3, the final one, until we get the update today, and we're going to get what I think is the last part, it should be. Note number 11, Rockwell notices that the HLNA and the player at the back, are back at Aberration looking at the ruined structures. He tells the player that Aberration ARK is pivotal in helping him become a god in his eyes. A visual of his monster form is shown. Rockwell asked the player if HLNA told them about his creator, Helena, as a person, and Rockwell never understood Helena's liking to the ARK's creatures, and he gets an understanding of her when he is making creatures of his own. An image of Helena scribbling down notes in her book, and a mysterious creature with a bulging head and a mouth like from the Alien series. That's quite interesting. But yeah, no, I suppose in a way Rockwell's didn't understand why Helena loves the dinos so much in ARK, and when he started creating his own monsters, that's when he realised the connection towards it. Rockwell's notes that the future people see people of the past as a pattern, and as they have a record of every human being grew in them vats. And ran the randomly chosen people through tests that helped the future people to search for any survival skills. I don't know why I struggled so much to read through all that. As if it was like science. He thinks that this is what evolving and dying is, and he notes that he is now beyond that. The visuals consist of a tech console seen from the tech cave and an image of his superiority of breaking the barrier of survival. And then the last two notes, which is number 14 and 15, is HNNA calls Rockwell by the name of Mr. Purple Tentacles and knows that he has been talking to the player throughout it. HNNA leaves the information of the amount of time needed to lock Rockwell out of her systems for good as classified. A visual of her filtering itself and alerts can cause Rockwell to enter are shown. And finally, the last note from Genesis Chronicles 3 is, in the ARK chronological storyline, this would be Santiago's first explorer note, as he leaves this note on the Aberration Ark before heading through the Gateway Project portal. He explains to any future reader that the Aberration Ark is poisoned with element and that he should find a way to leave. They should find a way to leave and head down to extinction. This is Santiago's Explorer entry, and the rest of his notes are on extinction, which is, I suppose, we're going to be getting more of those notes now with the next update. A visual of planet Earth and the Aberration Ark is shown. He also adds a personal note that the mysterious planet's surface or Earth's surface couldn't be any worse than the condition of Aberration Ark. So, we learn a lot putting that all together there because, you know, in a way, it puts the whole story together for you, which is the nice thing about when doing this Genesis Chronicles. Is what it's showing is, you know, building from Helena and the other, you know, survivors, and how Rockwell ended up turning into the bad guy and ended up turning into a beast and wanting to be a god and more powerful than everyone. And then obviously it moves on to where Santiago is going to come in, which I'm sure is how he's going to play his part in ARK 2 as Vin Diesel, which is very, very exciting. And I think this is great, the Chronicles. I really do. I had a lot of fun reading through the old ones, but these ones are a lot more fun because obviously we're finding out the end of ARK. I feel like before this Genesis season pass, Wildcard didn't know whether they were going to do this season pass or whether they were going to do ARK 2. But they decided, they believed that they thought there's still space in the ARK universe to finish off the first story properly. And this is what they're doing with Genesis Chronicles 2. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see what happens with the last one. Get the final DLC next month. Please don't let us down, Wildcard. The update, as mentioned to you guys, is going to be 1 PM ST on PC and 8 PM PST on the console. I'll update you guys in the comment section if anything does change to timings. But apart from that, enjoy the update. And I'll catch you guys in my next video, which obviously I'm doing daily at the moment for you guys. So see you in my next video. Obviously, if we can hit the 1,000 like target, that'd be great. I had to add that in there. Had to add that in at the end. I couldn't speak there. And thank you for 190,000 subscribers as well.